It was a rainy Thursday afternoon, the kind of rain that drizzles softly at first, then suddenly turns into a downpour, drenching everything in its path. Ella was rushing through the crowded streets of her small town in Ohio, umbrella barely shielding her from the wet chaos. She had just left work, exhausted, her mind full of deadlines, bills, and everything else life demanded. She was about to duck into the coffee shop to hide from the storm when she noticed a small figure shivering near the curb. A young woman, no older than 20, with messy hair plastered to her face, clutched a cardboard sign that read, "Anything helps. Hungry and lost." Ella felt that familiar tug at her heart, the one that made her want to reach out, even when her mind was screaming, "Not today. Not now." She almost walked past. She really did. But something in the woman's eyes stopped her, something raw, human, and desperate. Before she could second guess herself, Ella stepped closer and said, "Hey, do you want some food?" Before we dive deeper into this story, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and leave a comment down below sharing your own experiences with kindness. Welcome to Kindness Story Hub, where we share real stories that warm the heart and remind us of the good in the world. Ella knelt down slightly, trying to make eye contact through the rain. The young woman hesitated, looked down at her shoes, and muttered something under her breath. Ella couldn't hear it over the rain, but the tone was enough. She almost said no. Almost. But then, after a long pause, she nodded slowly. Ella led her inside the coffee shop and ordered a warm meal. She didn't know the woman's name yet. She didn't know her story. All she knew was that the world had been harsh, and maybe, just maybe, a small gesture of warmth could make a difference. The young woman's hands trembled as she took the cup of soup and the sandwich Ella handed her. "Thank you," she whispered, almost inaudible. Ella smiled, feeling a strange mix of relief and wonder. "You're welcome," Ella said softly. "What's your name?" "Maya," she replied. Over the next few minutes, the two of them talked. At first, it was just small talk, the weather, the long line at the coffee shop, the smell of rain mixed with coffee. But soon, Maya opened up. She told Ella about losing her job, her apartment, and her sense of hope. She shared the pain of feeling invisible, of walking the streets day after day, unsure if anyone truly cared. Ella listened. She didn't interrupt, she didn't judge. She just listened. And with every word, she realized something important. Kindness isn't just about what you give, it's about presence. It's about showing up, even when it's inconvenient. Even when it's uncomfortable. "Do you have anywhere to stay tonight?" Ella asked cautiously, unsure if she was crossing a line. Maya shook her head, tears mixing with the rain dripping from her hair. Ella's chest tightened. She knew she couldn't let this night end with Maya alone on the streets. And so, without overthinking it, she made a decision that would change both their lives. "I have a spare room," Ella said quietly. "You can stay at my place tonight. No questions asked." Maya looked at her with wide eyes, stunned. I can't," she stammered. "I don't want to be a burden." "You're not a burden," Ella assured her. "No one should ever feel like that. Come on. Let's get you warm and dry first." By the time they reached Ella's apartment, the rain had stopped. The city streets glistened, reflecting the glow of the streetlights. It felt almost magical, like the world had shifted just enough to allow a little light in the inside. Maya warmed up with a blanket and a hot cup of tea. Ella sat across from her, silently watching her relax, feeling a wave of relief wash over her. She didn't know how long Maya had been living on the streets, but she could see the weight of it slowly lifting, just a little, as if a part of her burden had been transferred, if only for a moment, to someone who cared. The conversation turned deeper. Maya spoke of her dreams of becoming a graphic designer, of the books she had written in secret that no one had read. She had talent, intelligence, and creativity, but life had thrown too many obstacles in her way. Ella listened, amazed by her resilience. She realized that sometimes people fall not because they're weak, but because the world doesn't give them a chance to stand. "Why are you helping me?" Maya asked suddenly, looking up with a hint of skepticism. Ella paused. She thought about it. She could have walked away. She almost did. But she didn't. "Because I can," she said simply. "Because sometimes, kindness is all we have to offer each other. And maybe, today, that's enough." The next few days turned into a rhythm. Ella helped Maya apply for jobs, organized interviews, and even helped her create a portfolio. They laughed together, shared stories, and slowly built a connection that neither of them expected. It wasn't just about charity, it was about community, trust, and the small miracles that happen when someone chooses to care. Weeks later, Maya landed a job at a local design firm. She moved into a small apartment nearby and began to rebuild her life. But the change wasn't just in her, it was in Ella, too. She realized that her small act of kindness had rippled out, touching lives in ways she could never have imagined. One evening, as they shared dinner, Maya looked across the table at Ella. "You know," she said softly, "if you had said no that day, I don't know where I'd be. I might still be lost." Ella smiled, a lump in her throat. "I almost did," she admitted. "I almost walked away. But I didn't. And I'm glad I didn't." The story of Ella and Maya is a reminder that the simplest choices often carry the greatest weight. Kindness doesn't have to be grand or heroic, it doesn't require a plan or a perfect timing. Sometimes, it's just about saying yes when your heart tells you to, even when your mind screams otherwise. It's easy to think that helping someone is inconvenient, that we're too busy, too tired, or too wrapped up in our own problems. But what we forget is that for the person on the other side, that single act can change everything. It can restore faith, spark hope, and remind them that they are not invisible. Ella's decision wasn't about recognition. She didn't tell anyone about it, didn't expect thanks or gratitude. She simply acted because it felt right. And in doing so, she not only changed Maya's life but also transformed her own understanding of what it means to be human. Kindness is powerful because it breaks through barriers we often don't see, the barriers of judgment, fear, and indifference. It's not just about giving money or food, it's about seeing another person's pain and choosing to be present. It's about believing, in that moment, that you can make a difference, no matter how small it may seem. Maya's story continued to unfold in ways neither of them could have predicted. She flourished in her job, rebuilt relationships she had lost, and even began volunteering herself, paying forward the kindness she had received. And Ella? She carried the memory of that rainy Thursday forever, a reminder that the right choice, even when difficult, can create ripples that spread far beyond what we imagine. Sometimes, the most powerful moments in life happen not because of what we planned, but because of what we were brave enough to do in spite of hesitation. Ella almost said no that day. She almost ignored the world's silent plea. But by saying yes, she reminded us all that our choices matter, that our hearts are capable of more than we think, and that kindness, in its purest form, can transform lives. So, if you ever find yourself hesitating, wondering whether to help, to reach out, or to be present, remember Ella and Maya. Remember that a single decision, made with compassion and courage, can change everything. Sometimes, the world just needs one person to say yes, and who knows? That yes might just change your life too. Conclusion/uplifting ending: kindness is contagious. It doesn't have to be perfect or planned. It only needs a willing heart and a single moment of courage. Every time we choose to act with empathy, we create ripples that touch lives in ways we cannot see. You never know whose life you might change, or whose hope you might restore. So go ahead, smile at a stranger, offer a helping hand, or simply listen. Because in the end, it's those small acts, those moments of bravery and compassion, that truly make the world a better place. And remember, sometimes saying yes to kindness is all it takes to change everything.